Hello students, today I am going to start second chapter from your chemistry part, that is acids, bases and salts. In this chapter we already completed one session, so this is the second session of the chapter acids, bases and salts. In the first session we already discussed about the definition of acids, examples of acids and characteristics of acids, how the acids are prepared and basicity of the acids and some uses of the acids. Just recall the properties of the acids. So as you all know that acids are the substances when it dissolves in water it releases the hydrogen ions. This is the first property. Second one is acids are the good conductors of electricity and their pH value is less than 7. Right? It turns the litmus paper from blue color to red color. And next one is all the food components. So most of the food components are in acidic nature. So these are the some of the properties of acids. Now let us discuss about the next concept, that is bases. So bases means what? What is the basis? How you are going to be identify the basis and what it should be released when it dissolves in the water. As we already know, hydrogen is released when acids are dissolved in water. Similarly, the bases are the substances. Bases are the substances. Usually the oxides or hydroxides of metal which can react with an acid to produce a salt and water. It means the substances, here the definition is given. A base is a substance. A base is a substance that releases hydroxide. So acid releases the hydrogen ions, H plus ions, whereas base releases the OH minus ions in an aqueous solution. So base is a substance that releases the hydroxide ions in an aqueous solution. For example, when sodium hydroxide NaOH is dissolved in water, the compound separates into sodium and hydroxide ions. So it is releases the hydroxide ions. Sometimes we consider it as a hydroxyl also. So this is the what we are considering the compound sodium hydroxide. So once it is dissolved in water, what it should release is sodium and hydroxides are the two subcomponents. So whenever the basic substances is dissolved in water, it should be releases the OH minus ions or hydroxide ions. So these type of the substances we are going to be considered as a bases. See here, one more definition is there. A base is an oxides or hydroxides of metal. For examples, not only the hydroxide, when the basic substances dissolve in water, if it releases the hydroxide, means we are going to be considered as a bases. What happens, one more definition is when bases react with the oxides, it forms a metal oxides also. That type of the metal oxides also considered as a bases. For example, sodium monoxides or calcium oxides or cupric oxides or zinc oxides. So these are the some of the metal oxides. These also we are going to be considered as a bases. Listen here, one more example is given. Examples of bases are sodium oxide, sodium hydroxide, copper oxide and copper hydroxide, etc. A base react with an acid to form a salt and water only. You already know the neutralization reaction or in the previous chapter as well as in the previous session. When the acid is react with the base, it forms a salt and water. Similarly, when base react with the acid, it forms a salt and water only. For example, when copper oxide react with a sulfuric acid H2SO4, it forms copper sulfate and water. So here copper sulfate is a salt and remaining one more is water. This process is called neutralization. Whenever the acid is react with a base, it produces a salt and water. So these type of the reactions we are considering as a neutralization reaction. Let's see some information about the bases. Bases can be identified from their names or chemical formulas. Bases can be identified from their names and chemical formulas. A substance is a base if its name begins with the name of metal ion and ends with the word hydroxide. For example, sodium is a metal. A substance is begin if its name begins with the name of the metal ion. Name of this is a metal ion, sodium, Na plus, metal ion, right? And ends with the word hydroxide. Hydroxide means OH minus, right? So once combine these two, what you will get? NaOH. So sodium hydroxide, metal positively ions and hydroxide is negatively ions. So these type of the compounds or chemical formulas we are going to be considered as a bases. So first one is a metallic ions and ends with the hydroxides, or copper hydroxide, or potassium hydroxide, KOH, right? So these are the some examples for the bases. Ammonium hydroxide or calcium hydroxide, right? Ferric hydroxide, aluminum hydroxide. So these all are the best examples for bases. In all that examples, we are having one first component as a metallic ion and second component, it means ending words are hydroxide ions. Next one, a substance is also a base if the chemical formula start with a metallic ion or with the ammonium ion. If chemical formula start with the ammonium ion also, that type of the compounds also we are going to be considered as a bases. See here, the chemical formula ends with hydroxyl. Hydroxyl means OH. This is OH, hydroxylic group. So these type of the compounds or these type of the chemical formulas we are going to be considered as a bases. See, some examples are given here. Sodium hydroxide start with a metallic ion sodium. Here you are observing Na. Na is a positively charged ion and ends with a hydroxide or hydroxyl, OH minus. Similarly, potassium hydroxide start with a metallic ion, that is potassium, and ends with a OH minus, hydroxyl, right? Ammonium hydroxide start with the ammonium ion, that is NH4. NH4 is a positively charged ion and end with the negatively charged ion, that is hydroxide, OH minus. So from all these examples we can easily conclude that the naming of the bases. The step 1 is write the name of the positively charged ion. First we need to write the name of the positively charged ion, whether it may be potassium or sodium or calcium or ammonium or ferric or ammonium and aluminium, whatever it may be. We must take the positively charged ion first. Next one, add the word hydroxide. The ending, this is the prefix, and ending one is a suffix. Prefix and suffix. Prefix should be metallic ions and suffix should be hydroxides. For example, potassium hydroxide and ammonium hydroxides. See here, some bases examples are given. Examples of bases: sodium hydroxide NaOH, potassium hydroxide KOH, magnesium hydroxide MgOH twice, calcium hydroxide CaOH twice, sodium oxide. Sodium oxide is also one type of the base Na2O, potassium oxide K2O. So these all are the best examples for bases. Okay, see here the common household bases. We are having some of the live examples that consisting the basic ions. Here some common household bases are there. First one is magnesium hydroxide, second one sodium hydroxide, that is caustic soda, and next one is ammonia, sodium hydrogen carbonate, calcium hydroxide. So these are the some of the examples for bases. Let's take some more examples. What we are using the cleaning products, all the cleaning substances are the best examples for the bases. For example, ammonia or harpics, baking sodas, soaps, detergents, shampoos. So these all are the best examples for bases. Here bleach is also one type of the base. Antacids or cream cleaners, or next one is glass washers, brassos, baking sodas or baking powders, colgates. So these all the substances what we are using the cleaning products now in day-to-day life, what we are using the cleaning substances like shampoos, uh, colgates, next one antacids, harpics, phenyls, all these all belongings to bases. Okay, see here detergents, baking sodas, drain cleaners, ammonia, soaps, whether the soap or soap oils or soap, whether it may be a hand wash or dishwash, and antacids. So these all are belonging to the base categories. Okay, let's see the properties of bases. The properties of bases is exactly opposite to the properties of acids. Here acids are releases hydrogen ions when it dissolves in water, but bases will releases the OH minus ion when it dissolves in the water. And bases are bitter in taste. Bases are bitter in taste. It turns the litmus paper from red to blue. And next one, when it reacts with the acids, form a salt and water. All the cleaning products, most of the cleaning products are having basic in nature, and the pH value of the bases are more than 7. So these are the some basic properties of bases. See one by one. Bases react with fats to form soap and glycerol. When it's react bases, when it reacts with the fats, it forms soap and glycerol. This process is called as a saponification. Saponification, this is the most important concept. Saponification, define the saponification. Saponification is the process in that bases react with the fats, it forms a salt and glycerol, sorry, soaps and glycerols. In the next chapter, carbon and its compounds, you are going to study about the preparation of soaps and detergents. So this is the most important concept, saponification. It's the process of the making of the soaps and detergents. See the next one. Bases have a pH value more than 7. Acids are having the pH value less than 7. So bases have a pH value of more than 7. Dilute solutions of bases taste bitter. And the next property is bases turns the phenolphthalein to pink color, litmus to blue color, and bromethyl blue color. Bromethyl, it turns, when the bases react with the bromethyl, it turns the whole solution into blue colors. Next one, bases neutralizes the acid solutions. It means when acid or base combined together, whenever, whether it may be acid is combined with the base or base is combined with the acids, it forms a salt and water. That is nothing but a neutralization reaction, right? And the next property is bases are formed when alkali metals or alkaline earth metals react with the water. The word alkali and alkaline means basic as opposed to acidic. Here we are having some more characteristics of bases. Bases are usually bitter in taste. Bases are usually bitter in taste. Bases feel slippery. And next one, bases contains, what it contains? Hydroxides, OH minus ions. OH minus ions. When it dissolves in the water, it releases the hydroxide ions. Okay, so the one more important characteristic of bases, that is feel slippery. So how the base will be react? Listen here. Bases feel soap and slippery because they react with the acid molecules in our skin called fatty acids. When we are applying the soaps or detergents or shampoos on our skin is made up of the fatty acids. That fatty acids are the belonging to the acidic groups, right? So when bases react with soaps or shampoos are the best examples for bases. When it reacts with the fatty acids, so it shows the special characters, that is slippery. Okay, see here, in fact this is exactly how soap is made. Mixing, because usually sodium hydroxides with fatty acids produces soaps. When sodium hydroxide, what happens, we are going to be prepare the soaps with the help of the sodium hydroxides. These sodium hydroxide we are going to be combined with the fatty acids. Once we are adding the fatty acids with the sodium hydroxides, it will produce us the soap, right? So most of the soaps is composed by sodium hydroxide and fatty acids or glycerols. So when a base touches your skin, the combination of base with your own fatty acids actually makes a small amount of soap, small amount of the soaps. So these are the some characteristics of bases. Now see the classification of bases. How we are going to be classify the bases, on what categories, on what basis we are going to be classify the bases. As we are classifying the acids on the basis of the strength of the hydrogen ion present in the solution, as a strong acids and weak acid, or concentrated acid and diluted acid, or oxide acids or hydroacids. Similarly, we are going to be classify the bases based on the solubility, based on the solubility and based on the ionizing capacity. See the first one, we are classifying the bases based on the solubility, whether the basic substances is dissolved in water or not. Okay, solubility means whether the substances are completely soluble in water or not. Soluble substances, all the soluble substances of the bases are considered as a alkalis. The best example for soluble substances are sodium hydroxide, and insoluble substances are copper oxide. Some more example for soluble bases is potassium hydroxide, that is first one is a NaOH and second one is KOH, potassium hydroxide, calcium hydroxide, right? Next one ammonium hydroxide, NH4OH. So these all are the best examples for soluble hydroxides. And insoluble hydroxide means ferric hydroxide, FeOH thrice. So this is the ferric hydroxide. Next one is aluminium hydroxide, AlOH thrice. So this is also one type of the insoluble bases. First one is ferric hydroxide and second one is aluminium hydroxide. So on the basis of the solubility of, we are going to classify the bases as two types. First one is soluble bases and second one is insoluble bases. Okay, let's see the soluble and insoluble bases, the families of bases, right? So bases are classifying as soluble and insoluble bases on the basis of solubility, right? All the soluble bases we are going to be considered as alkalis, and all the insoluble bases we are going to be considered as a metal oxides and metal hydroxides, right? If any substance is completely soluble in water, then that type of the bases are considered as alkalis. Otherwise they are insoluble bases, and these insoluble bases are in the form of metal oxides or metal hydroxides also. So soluble bases means what? Alkalis. Soluble bases are called alkalis. Alkalis dissolve in water to produce hydroxide ions. Here don't get confused, alkalis are nothing but bases. Alkalis are nothing but bases, but when basic substances is dissolved in water, if it completely soluble in water, then that type of the basic substances only we are going to be considered as alkalis. Otherwise they are remain bases only. The soluble substances in water is considered as alkalis. Okay, example for alkalis is sodium hydroxide, potassium hydroxide. Okay, see the next one. What is an alkalis? What is an alkalis? An alkalis is a substance which produces hydroxide ion when it is dissolved in water. Similarly bases also, bases, alkalis are nothing but a bases, right? So alkalis also produces the hydroxide ions. It also releases the hydroxide OH minus ions when it dissolves in the water, but it should be completely soluble in water. All the alkalis are completely soluble in water. Okay, next one, the hydroxide ions OH minus gives an alkalis its alkaline properties. It's a alkaline properties. The next one is a alkalis only behave as alkalis when they are dissolved in water. See here some more information regarding the alkalis. So what are the bases and alkalis? Bases are the substances that reacts with the acids. They absorb hydrogen ion. Bases are therefore hydrogen expectors. Hydrogen expectors or proton expectors. The oxides, hydroxides and carbonates of metals such as sodium carbonate are bases. Some bases are soluble in water and these bases are called alkalis. The bases which is completely soluble in water, that type of the bases we are going to be considered as alkalis only. Alkalis are the basic substances, they are completely soluble in water. Next one, alkalis releases the hydroxide ion. It's similar to the basis categories or basic properties. Alkalis releases the hydroxide ions in solution. Listen here. One statement is given: all alkalis are bases. All alkalis are bases, but not all bases are alkalis. So how you can justify this statement? All alkalis are bases. All alkalis are bases means whenever you are going to be dissolve the alkalis in water, it also releases the OH minus ion, right? Hydroxide ions. But most of the bases will not be completely dissolve or completely soluble in water. That's why the sum of the alkalis are bases. Some of the alkalis are bases, but all the bases are not alkalis, because some of the bases will not completely dissolve in water. See here, bases react with the acids. Alkalis soluble bases. Okay. Next one, alkalis. If a base is soluble in water, it's called an alkalis. An alkalis is a soluble base which produces the hydroxide ion in aqueous solution. Sodium hydroxide is an alkali because it dissolves in water. When it dissolves in water, it produces the hydroxide ion. For example, sodium hydroxide, NaOH, when it dissolves in water, it is completely soluble in water and it releases the sodium and hydroxide ions. So these type of the compounds are considered as a alkalis. See the next one, differences between bases and alkalis. Copper hydroxide. Copper hydroxide is a base but not an alkali. How you can justify the statement? Copper hydroxide is a base but not an alkali. This is because it is insoluble in water and hence cannot be produces hydroxide ions in water, right? So that's why copper hydroxide is base. It cannot be releases the hydroxide ions, right? Or it cannot be completely soluble in water. Okay, see some characteristics of the alkalis, characteristics and examples of the alkalis. So you already know the definition of alkali. An alkalis is a base that is soluble in water. So some of the examples that are sodium hydroxide, potassium hydroxide, calcium hydroxide, barium hydroxide, and aqueous ammonia. So these are the best examples for alkalis, and all these compounds are completely soluble in water, completely soluble in water. That's why we are going to be considered as a alkalis. Next one, some chemical properties of the alkalis. So what are the properties of alkalis? See here, first one, alkalis have a bitter in taste. Most of the alkalis have the similar characteristics of the bases only, because alkalis is also one part of the bases. These are also a base categories, but it is soluble in water. So alkalis are bitter in taste and soapy feel. And next one, alkalis turns red litmus to blue. Alkalis react with the acid. Obviously it forms a salt and water. For example, when sodium hydroxide reacts with a hydrochloric acid, that is HCl, it forms a sodium chloride. Sodium chloride is a salt and water. So when acid is react with a base, or base is react with the acid, it forms a salt and water, right? Similarly, second example, potassium hydroxide is react with a sulfuric acid, that forms a potassium sulfate and water. So these are the some properties of alkalis. See next one, some more properties of alkalis here. Alkalis react with an ammonium salt. to produces ammonia gas. This is the most important. When alkalis react with the ammonium salt, what it should be produces? Ammonia gases. Ammonia gases. Next one, ammonia gas is acidic, thus it turns red litmus paper to blue. Ammonia gas is a very soluble in water and gives out a pungent smell, right? So sodium hydroxide, when it's react with the sodium hydroxide or base alkalis, it means bases react with the sodium hydroxide is a one type of the base alkalis. When it reacts with the ammonium chloride, it forms a sodium chloride. Amine, it means amine is a gas here, and water. So here you are observing sodium hydroxide is combining with the ammonium chloride, it produces the amine gas and turns the red litmus paper to blue. Similarly, we are having one more example here. Calcium hydroxide, when reacts with the ammonium chloride, it forms a calcium chloride and ammonia with the water are the products. So these are the products we are getting from the combination of calcium hydroxide and ammonium chloride. See the properties of alkalis. Some properties are given here. First one is alkalis have bitter in taste and soap flee. Alkalis dissolve in water to produce the hydroxide ions. Alkalis turns red litmus to blue. Alkalis have pH value more than 7. Next one is alkalis react with the metals, ammonia, salt and acids. So alkalis are react with the acids, ammonia and salts and acids, right? Here some examples for soluble and insoluble bases. So soluble bases are considered as a, what we are going to be consider the soluble bases. Soluble bases are alkalis. So these are the alkalis and these are the pure bases, right? So alkalis are sodium hydroxide, potassium hydroxide, calcium hydroxide and ammonium solution. Similarly, insoluble bases are iron oxide, copper oxide, lead oxide, magnesium oxide. Fe2O3, CuO, PbO and MgO are the compound formula of the given compounds here. Yes, some more information given about the soluble and insoluble bases. Following statements help you to identify if chemical can dissolve in water or not. With the help of these statements, we can easily identify whether the base components or basic substances is completely dissolved in water or not. All the compounds of sodium, potassium and ammonium are soluble. The compounds which is formed by these metals, right? Sodium, potassium and ammonium, all these compounds are formed by these elements. They are purely soluble in water. All nitrates compounds are soluble. All the nitrate compounds also soluble in water. All chlorides are soluble except silver chloride and lead chloride. Most of the chloride compounds are soluble in water except silver chloride and lead chloride. Next one is all sulfates are soluble in water except barium sulfate and lead sulfate. And next one is all the carbonates are insoluble. All the carbonates are insoluble except sodium carbonate, potassium carbonate and ammonium carbonate. These are soluble in water. Okay. Next one, all the metal oxides and metal hydroxides are insoluble in water except sodium, potassium and calcium. Oxides are hydroxides. So this is the easiest way to identify whether the basic substances are soluble in water or not. Okay. Let's see the differences between alkalis and bases. So alkalis compounds are type of the base that dissolves in water. So alkalis is also one type of the bases, but it is completely dissolved in water or completely soluble in water. A base is a substance that neutralizes the acid. Okay. Next one, so hydroxides is common in the form of alkalis. Sodium hydroxide is an example for bases. Baking soda is an alkali substance. Potassium hydroxide is another example for bases. All alkalis are bases. All alkalis are bases, but all bases are not alkalis, because bases are only the substances which is not soluble in water, whereas alkalis are the substances they are purely soluble in water. Okay. Next one, alkalis is subset of bases. Alkalis is a subset of bases. See here, bases have alkalis. Next one, the last one difference is alkalis are ionic salts. Alkalis are ionic salts. Bases does not necessary to. Some chemical properties of alkalis. All the alkalis produces hydroxide ions. All the alkalis produces hydroxide ions when it dissolves in water. For example, sodium hydroxide. Sodium hydroxide, when it dissolves in water, it produces sodium ion and hydroxide ion. So this is the reaction, NaOH, sodium hydroxide plus water. When it dissolves in water, it produces the sodium ion and hydroxide ion. Next one, alkalis heated with ammonium salt gives off ammonia gas. We already discussed in the previous slide. When the ammonium salt is react with the alkalis, it produces the ammonia gas. And the general equation is alkalis react with the ammonia salt, it forms a ammonia as a gas and water along with the salt. So ammonia has a strong smell and turns red litmus paper to blue color. See, some more examples are given here. Calcium hydroxide plus ammonium chloride. It produces, when calcium hydroxide reacts with the ammonium chloride, it produces calcium chloride with the water and ammonia as a gas. Next one, bases. The next concept is bases. A base is a substance which neutralizes an acidic substance is called as a bases. If a base is dissolved in water, what you will get? It always called as a alkalis. If a base is completely soluble in water, means it is called as a alkalis. So alkalis are bases that dissolve in water. Here some of the examples are given. Sodium hydroxide, NaOH, base and alkalis. Sodium hydroxide is a base as well as it is alkalis because it is soluble in water. Potassium hydroxide. Potassium hydroxide is a base as well as it is alkalis. Next one, ammonium solution. Ammonium solution is base and alkalis because it is also completely soluble in water. Next two examples are copper oxides and magnesium oxides. These two are purely bases. They are not a alkalis. Reason? Because When copper oxide and magnesium oxides are dissolved in water, they are insoluble in water. That's why we are going to be considered as a bases only. If it's soluble in water, then they are alkalis also. So metal oxides and hydroxides are generally bases. Metal oxides and hydroxides are generally bases. So how you are going to be identify the bases? On the basis of metal oxides and metal hydroxides. See the preparation of the bases, how we are going to be prepare the bases, as we are prepare the acids by the direct combination or dissolving the acidic oxides in water. We are having two methods in the preparation of acids. First one is a direct method, right? So second method is by dissolving acidic oxides we get a acidic solutions, right? We prepare the acids. So similarly bases is prepared with the sum of the conditions. There are various methods for the preparation of bases. In that, first one is a reaction of oxygen with metals to produce as the metal oxides. When oxygen is react with a metal, it always produces a metal oxides. Many metal oxides react with the oxygen gas to form metal oxides. For example, calcium react with the oxygen, it forms a calcium oxide. Here calcium is react with the oxygen, it produces the calcium oxide. So this is the one type of the preparation method of bases. We already considered the metal oxides also the best examples for bases, whether it may be oxides or hydroxides, right? So next one is thermal decomposition of carbonates. Metal carbonates such as calcium carbonate break down when heated strongly. This is called thermal decomposition. Here are the equation for the thermal decomposition of calcium carbonate. When calcium carbonate is strongly heated at high temperature, it decomposes into two simplest compounds like calcium oxide and carbon dioxide. Here calcium oxide is a one type of the base. Okay, so this is the method of preparation of the bases. And next one, we are having one more method here. See the preparation of bases. Bases can be prepared by the following methods. First one is a direct union of metal with oxygen. This is the first method. Some metals when heated in air or oxygen, the oxides of the metals are produced. When the metals react with the oxygen, it always produces the metal oxides, whether it may be sodium, calcium or potassium. So when sodium reacts with the oxygen, it produces the sodium oxide. Potassium reacts with the oxygen, it produces the potassium oxide. When calcium reacts with the oxygen, it produces the calcium oxide. And these oxides, once we get oxides of the metals, and these oxides when dissolved in water, it produces the hydroxides of the metals. And these hydroxides of metals are nothing but bases, right? Listen here, what we are getting in the first equation, when sodium is combined with oxygen, it produces the sodium oxide. That sodium oxide is dissolved in water, we get a sodium hydroxide. Similarly, when potassium oxide is dissolved in water, we get a potassium hydroxide. Calcium oxide is dissolved in water, means we get a calcium hydroxides. So this is the method of the preparation of bases. Second one, by heating carbonate of the some metals. In the previous slide we already discussed, no? When calcium carbonate is strongly heated, calcium oxide and carbon dioxides are produced. So calcium oxide is a one type of the base. Okay, so CaCO3, calcium carbonate, is strongly heated, it releases the, or it decomposes as a calcium oxide and carbon dioxide. Similarly, when zinc carbonate, ZnCO3, is heated strongly, it also decomposes as a zinc oxide and carbon dioxide. Here zinc oxide and calcium oxide, ZnO and CaO are the bases, and along with we get a carbon dioxide will be get liberated. Okay, so this is the method of the preparation of bases. Next one, classification of the bases. We already once classify the bases on the basis of their solubility. So on the basis of solubility, bases are classified as a two types. First one is the alkalis and normal bases, soluble bases and non-soluble bases or insoluble bases. And second type of the classification is strong bases and weak bases. Classification of the bases on the basis of the strength of the amount of hydroxide ions when it releases, when it dissolves in the water. It means when the basic substances is dissolved in water, if it releases the maximum amount of the hydroxide ions, if it completely soluble in water means it should be releases the maximum amount of the hydroxide ions. So once the basic substances releases maximum hydroxide ions, that type of the basic substances we are going to be considered as a strong bases. If it releases the less amount of hydroxide ions, they are weak bases. So strong bases, first one is a strong basis. See the definition and examples of strong bases. A strong base is a basic chemical compound that deproponent very weak acid in an acid base reaction. Common example of strong base includes hydroxides of alkali metals and alkaline earth metals like sodium hydroxide and calcium hydroxide. Very strong base can even deproponent very weak acids. They are in the group of carbon and hydrogen. In the absence of the water, here is a list of the several strong bases. So some of the strong bases are given here. First one is potassium hydroxide, second one is barium hydroxide, third one is cesium hydroxide, sodium hydroxide, strontium hydroxide, calcium hydroxide, lithium hydroxide, rubidium hydroxides. So these are the some examples for strong bases. Examples for strong bases. Okay, let's see the weak bases. So how you can define the weak bases? When any acidic substance is dissolved in, when any basic substance is dissolved in water, if it partially soluble in water along with the less releasing of hydroxide ions, then that substances are considered as a weak bases. Other examples of molecular compounds which exist as a bases are, some of the weak bases are listed here. First one is methyl amine, second one aniline, and third one pyridine. So these are the some of the examples for weak bases. Next one, how the bases will be react with, how the bases will be react with the acids. We already know when acid is react with a base or base is react with acid, it forms a salt and water. So this is the general form of the reaction. When base is react with the acid, it produces a salt and water, and these type of the reactions we call it as a neutralization reaction. And a reaction in which an acid and a base react with each other to give a salt and water, this type of the reaction is known as a neutralization reaction. This is the general form of the reaction. So here some examples are given. First one is sodium chloride. When hydrogen chloride reacts with the sodium hydroxide, it produces the sodium chloride and water. And second one is a sulfuric acid. When sulfuric acid is combined with the Sodium hydroxide, it produces the sodium sulfate along with the water. Okay, so these are the some examples for the combination of acid and bases. Some more examples are given here. Whenever the acid is combined with the base, it produces the salt and water, and these type of the reactions, what we call that one, neutralization reaction. Okay, here some more examples are given. Neutralization reaction always produces salt and water. This is one more question. What it produces, or what are the products of the neutralization reaction? The products of the neutralization reactions are salt and water. So some examples are given here. HCl, when HCl is combined with the sodium hydroxide, it produces the sodium chloride and water. When sulfuric acid react with the sodium hydroxide, it produces the sodium sulfate and water. Similarly, nitric acid reacts with the magnesium hydroxide, it produces the magnesium nitrate along with the water, right? Yes, so these also some examples for the neutralization reaction. Okay, here also HCl combined with the NaOH, it produces the water and sodium chloride. Next one is nitric acid combined with the sodium hydroxide, it also produces the sodium nitrate along with the water. Okay, so these are also some examples for the neutralization reaction. Now see the second type of the reaction. Second type of the reaction, what happens when base is react with the metals? When base is react with the metals, what it produces? Whenever the bases react with the metals, it produces salt and hydrogen gas. It produces the hydrogen gas. Listen here. This is the general form. Okay, metal, when metal is combined with the base, or base is combined with the metal, it produces a salt and hydrogen gas. So one example, aluminium, when aluminium is combined with the sodium hydroxide, sodium hydroxide is a one type of the base, aluminium is a one of the metal, right? So sodium hydroxide is a base, when it combined with the metal, it produces the sodium aluminate. Sodium aluminate. Sodium, what is the molecular formula of sodium aluminate? NaAlO2. So it is a one type of the salt along with the hydrogen gas, right? So this is the example for the reaction of base with the metals. See, we are having one more example here. Metal react with a base and replaces the available hydrogen to form salt. So when metal reacts with a base, it produces the salt and hydrogen. When metal reacts with a base, it produces a salt and hydrogen gas. For example, metal like zinc displaces the hydrogen from the base sodium hydroxide and produces hydrogen gas. The reaction between sodium hydroxide and zinc can be represented as sodium hydroxide. Here sodium hydroxide is react with the zinc, it produces the sodium zincate along with the hydrogen gas. So what is the molecular formula of sodium zincate? Na2ZnO2. So this is the molecular formula of sodium zincate. However, it should be noted that not all metals are react with the bases. Only few metals are going to be react with the metals and it produces a salt and hydrogen gas. Okay, so this is the third type of the reaction. Reaction of the bases with non-metallic oxides. What happens when bases react with the non-metallic oxides? Let us see the reaction between carbon dioxide and calcium hydroxide. Calcium hydroxide means lime water. Calcium hydroxide, lime water molecular formula is CaOH twice. So here carbon dioxide is a non-metallic oxide, right? Carbon is a non-metal. When it combines with oxygen, it forms a non-metallic oxide, right? Carbon dioxide. When carbon dioxide reacts with the calcium hydroxide, it produces a salt along with the water. So calcium carbonate is a one type of the salt, and remaining one more product is water. So calcium hydroxide, which is a base, react with the carbon dioxide to produce salt and water. Since this is similar to the reaction between base and acid, we can conclude that non-metallic oxides are acidic in nature. Non-metallic oxides are acidic in nature. Okay, some more examples are given here. Calcium hydroxide. When calcium hydroxide react with the carbon dioxide, it produces the calcium carbonate along with the water. And second one, when sodium hydroxide react with the same carbon dioxide, it produces the sodium carbonate along with the water. When magnesium hydroxide react with the same component, that is carbon dioxide, it also produces the magnesium carbonate along with the water, right? So these are the some of the reactions of bases reacting with the acids, reacting with the metals, reacting with the non-metallic oxides. Let's come to the next concept, that is the acidity of base. This is the most important concept. As we studied in the acids, basicity of acids. Basicity of acids means the number of hydrogen ions present in the given compound is called as a basicity of the acid. But in bases, it is acidity of bases. Acidity of bases. So what do you mean by acidity of bases? In simple words, we can define as the number of hydroxide ions, the number of OH ions present in the given compound is called as the acidity of the bases. It is the ionizable OH ions present in an alkalis. For example, sodium hydroxide is a monoacidic base. Again, we are classifying the acidity of the bases on the number of the hydroxide ions present in the compounds. For example, first one is monoacidic base, diacidic base, triacidic base. If one OH minus ion is present in the compound, means it is a monoacidic base. Two OH minus ions are present, means diacidity of base. And third one is if three OH minus ions are present, means they are called as a triacidic bases. See here, NaOH is a monoacidic and calcium hydroxide is a dibasic or diacidic. See, acidity of base. Acidity of base is refers to be number of replaceable hydroxyl ions in one molecule of the base. So monoacidic means one molecule of base produces one OH upon ionization. If it releases only OH, one OH ion, then that is monoacidic base. For examples, sodium hydroxide and potassium hydroxide. And dibasic acid means a molecule of base produces two OH ions when it ionizes. For example, calcium hydroxide. And third one is triacidic base. One molecule of base produces three hydroxide ions when it get ionized. So the best example for the triacidic oxide is aluminium hydroxide, and next one is ferric hydroxide, that is FeOH thrice. So this is also the best example for triacidic bases. Okay, now let's see the last concept of your bases, that is the uses of alkalis or uses of bases. So what are the uses of bases? See here, magnesium hydroxide neutralizes the acids. So most of the soaps and detergents are formed by the sodium hydroxides, right? And next one is aluminum hydroxide or magnesium hydroxides are alkalis that neutralizes and excess acids in our stomach. Okay, we are having here some particular uses of the bases. First one is see the first base. The industrial applications or uses of the caustic soda. Caustic soda is a wide variety of industrial sector like in pulp and paper processing industry. Caustic soda is used at stages like bleaching process and dyeing of the waste papers and in water treatment. And the next one, the next major industry like textile industry, also in textile industry also we are using caustic sodas is used to process the cotton and synthetic fibers. Caustic soda is utilized more in the soaps and detergent industries. The other caustic sodas uses includes an oil and gas industries to remove the pungent smells. And next one is in household cleaning products. What we are using Detolls, whether it may be Detolls or Harpics or Phenyls, all that substances are involves caustic sodas. And next one is in beverages bottles in home soaps making also we are using caustic soda. So these are the some uses of the caustic soda. And next one is the sodium hydroxide. Some uses of the sodium hydroxide are given here. First one, the substances can be brought from various bulk drugs manufacturers. So in the drugs we are using sodium hydroxides. And next one, they can also be used for cooking purpose. Next one, washing and chemical filling of the vegetables and fruits. So these are the some of the uses of sodium hydroxide. Here some uses of the bases are listed below. See the one by one. First one is the sodium hydroxide. Sodium hydroxides are used in the manufacture of soaps, textiles, papers and medicines. Similarly, that sodium hydroxide is also used in the refining of the petroleum. Refining of petroleum means the purification of the petroleum also we are using sodium hydroxide. And the next one is ammonium hydroxide. The ammonium hydroxide is used as a reagent in the laboratories. In the science laboratories we are using ammonium hydroxide as a cleaning reagent. And next one, it is also used in the making of the fertilizers. What we are using NKP or next one NSP. NSP means nitrogen, phosphorus and sulfurs. We are using some of the fertilizers, and these fertilizers were going to be manufactured with the help of the ammonium hydroxides. So in the making of the fertilizers and rayons, plastics and dyes also we are using ammonium hydroxide. And the next one is calcium hydroxide, and calcium hydroxide is used in the making of the cements and mortars. Second use of the calcium hydroxide is it is used in the manufacturing of bleaching powders, whitewashings and removing the acidity of the soils. Removing the acidity of the soils. So acidity of the soils, if it the acidity of the soil will be increases means the fertility of the soil will be get reduced. That's why we are using the calcium hydroxide to remove the acidity of that soil. So it improves the fertility of the soil also. See the next one, potassium hydroxide. So where we are going to be use the potassium hydroxides in the manufacturing of soaps and shaving creams. In the manufacturing of soaps and shaving creams we are using potassium hydroxide. Next one, the adjustment of the pH of the soil. The adjustment of the pH of the soil also we are using potassium hydroxide. detect the fungal infection on skin. If you are observing any kind of the fungal infection on skin, just we need to use the potassium hydroxide. This is the best medicine to prevent the fungal infections on the skin. Next one use is remove hair from the animal hides. So these are the some of the uses of potassium hydroxide. See the next one, the last concept, that is differences between acids and bases. How you are going to be categorize acids and bases, on what basis you are going to be distinguish the two main compound, that is acids and bases. See here, the differences of acids and bases are, first one is definition. How you can define the acids? Any compound that increases the number of hydrogen ions when it dissolves in water. It means whenever the acidic substances is dissolved in water, it should be releases the H plus ions. Similarly, bases are the substance when it dissolves in water, it releases the hydroxide ions. So acids are releases hydrogen ions and bases are releases the hydroxide ions, OH minus ions. Next one, taste and feel. Acids are sour in taste and they are corrosive, burns feel. Bases are bitter in taste, they feel like a slipperies. Next one is hydrogen ions is soluble in hydrogen ions in solution. It produces the H plus ions. So when acidic substances are dissolved, it produces the H plus ion. It releases the hydroxide ions. And the next one is a litmus paper. How the litmus paper will be react in acidic and basic nature. The litmus paper turns when the litmus paper are immersed in acidic solution, it turns the litmus paper from blue to red, but basic solutions are turns the same litmus paper from red to blue, right? Next one, what type of the chemical do they react with? So acid react with the metals, carbonates and bases. Bases react with the fats, oils and acids. The next one is common examples for acids: HCl, soda and vinegars, lemons. So these are the some common examples for acids. Here soaps, shampoos, baking sodas and window cleaners. These also the best examples for bases. See here some more differences are given. The first one is acids having sour in taste, bases are bitter in taste. Acids are corrosive, bitters, bases are slippery to touch. And next one, acid changes the litmus paper from red to blue to red. Bases changes the litmus paper from red to blue. And the pH value of acidic substances is less than 7. It means the range of the acidic substances is from 0 to 7, whereas the range of the basic substances is 7 to 14. If any compound or any substance is having exactly pH as 7 value, and that type of the substances are called as a neutral substances. The best example for neutral substances is water. The pH value of the water is 7. Next one, how the acid is react with the water. Acid forms hydrogen when it dissolves in the water. When acids is dissolved in water, it reacts or it releases the H plus ion. Similarly, bases will releases the OH minus ion when it dissolves in water. So these are the some of the differences between acids and bases. So in the next class we will discuss about indicators and salts. Till then, be happy, have a nice day. Thank you.